I have been speaking, so the act of speaking is not my issue, but why I was interested in coming to this is to see if you had any recommendation regarding storytelling, because I tend to be long-winded and maybe tail off. I want to be able to tell that story in a concise manner. Any recommendation regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, you can have your whole keynote be a story, like a thematic message throughout the whole thing, and kind of go have tiebacks. Or you could tell, short stories, like a 30-second story. The biggest kind of tip that I'll give you here is to think about the 5 W's. Who can guess what these are?
Who, what, where, when, why.
There you go. So these first ones, like when did it happen? Who was there? Where was it? These are interchangeable. What are they? Interchangeable, right? Reversible. And then the what is the biggest one. This is where we want to include some conflict. And then finally, why are you telling this story? So an example, in 2012, I found myself at a crossroads in my career. So when did it happen? In 2012. You want to answer these 3 questions in the first 15 seconds. 2012, I found myself at a crossroads in my career. I was overlooking the golf course in Atlantic Station. I remember I had to make a decision. I was writing in my journal, and right then and there, in the moment of inspiration, I decided, tomorrow I'm going to quit my job. Do you see how quickly I answered those questions right there? Then the what is where you go into the story. So I walk into my boss's office the next day. My heart's beating, like 1,000 miles an hour, because it's still scary. They're giving me a free apartment. I got health insurance. Am I gonna make this? At the time, I was engaged. It was very scary to actually, go ahead and quit your job. But you have the inner dialogue, the internal, and then you have the external, and then you have the the mission, what you're supposed to do. So I went in there, I walked in there, and without thinking twice, I just said, I'm gonna do it now, or else I'm gonna back out. Just like I did at the Tony Robbins event, where I really should have signed up for that event. So the reason I tell you this is sometimes your mind will talk your heart out of something you should do. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Right? So did you see how I deploy all those 5 W's right there? Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's a little thing about storytelling, how quickly you can do that. And again, these 3 are interchangeable. It could be with where. There I was in Atlantic Station on top of the golf course. You know what I mean? Where? This was several years ago, back in 2012. And then I talk about when. So it could be any of these 3 W's could go first. I want to answer these 3 W's quickly. Who was there? My brother and I. We're driving down to Florida. We find ourselves, you know what I mean? And then get to the what. The what is, think of it like a 2-minute trailer for a movie. They're going to show you conflict. Then the hero rises up, and then he figures out, and then why, what's the point, what's the message of the movie, what's the message of the story. And so I tell you this because, the reason I bring that story up is because it'll hit home with some of the people, here at this conference. And so there's a reason why you kind of bring that up. You see? So did that make sense?
Yes, great, thank you.
Beautiful.